this has been my story, and I continue to prevail. I continue to learn this lesson. That's all I wanted to say right now. Oh, and one more thing. I realized that it feels tough and is sometimes exhausting to keep hoping when you keep being disappointed or getting disappointed. So sometimes it's very helpful to take a break from trying and just focus for a couple of days or even one day or a couple of hours. Focus on something completely different that has nothing to do with your situation. Give yourself a break. It will help you. And also stop trying so hard and let the grace of God do it for you. That's what the Lord wants. And that's how He gets the glory. That He can flow through you and in you. Something also to consider that I was already talking in my other video about is that the feeling of disappointment many times can come just from a false perspective on your situation. That just needs some renewal. So you just might be seeing your situation your situation currently a little falsely. Okay, and then I'm gonna share some tips for resilience that have been helpful. So the first one is what I've been already talking about in my other videos, and that is to write down or record every success, at least the bigger ones that are encouraging, and encounters with the Lord and everything He has revealed to you or encouraged you with, and revisit those whenever you need encouragement. So that has been one of my go-tos and one of the most helpful things on my journey. I have so many recordings in my phone. I don't even ever have time to go through them, but the fact that there are so many of them in itself is so encouraging. Tip number 2. If you're in a situation of waiting, it's good to have some change every now and then. Like, even if your situation doesn't change, you can change something else. And that will refresh your thinking and remind your brain that things actually can change. This can mean many things. Change your curtains, eat something new, meet with a friend, change the room you're sleeping in or spending your time in, go to a new place outside, read a new book, use your imagination and have fun with this. Sometimes being in the same room can make you feel that things never change, and that can keep your mind stuck in the same patterns. So if you can't change things physically, maybe you can use your imagination and imagine you're going to a new place or an adventure, or, you can use your imagination your situation is, no one can take those good memories away from you. And they have been a gift from God, so you're reminding yourself of how good He has been in the past, and even if your situation has changed, God hasn't. So that has been the big one for me as well. It's very refreshing, comforting. I have one more tip, and that is contentment. This might be one of the most difficult ones, but the most helpful ones too. So while you are still expecting change, and you're not giving up on hope on that, but at the same time it's so important to find contentment and start appreciating whatever you have, good things in your situation. And so this goes well together with thankfulness and just choosing to be content in this situation and peaceful, trusting that God is with you here and now, and that's good enough. And whatever it is that He provides for you in this moment already, before the change, choose to appreciate that and focus on that. And don't be too obsessed about the change. That is very good. So, yeah, these were my tips for now, and I know I get to give you all kinds of tips and tricks, but I guess there's just nothing compared to navigating your situation in a relationship with God and just letting Him lead you to the answers. Sometimes for me the best thing to do is to stop doing anything and just wait for Him. Stop trying to reach for the answers and just be with the emotion that I have currently and wait on the Lord in faith, waiting for His guidance. Even when it feels difficult, it's many times, especially if I find myself in this striving and fixing mentality, that's many times the only thing